welcome back to another episode of Addicted to Gear live Q&A. So this video is going to be a live Q&A that I'm recording without any editing or anything like that, where I'm going to go and answer some of the comments and questions and share them with the viewers on some of the videos that I've made in the past. Now, of course, it's not live, so you can't ask a question right here. But if you want to ask a question live, join us for our live events, which happen every Sunday at 10 o'clock Eastern Time. And you can ask your questions then and there, and I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. All right. So today we're going to go into a little bit more detail on some of the comments and questions on our videos. But before we get started, I wanted to give out a big thank you for our sponsor that made today's video possible. Speaker Friends instrument cables, great products. You can get them on the Speaker Friends website. I'll leave the link to them down below, or you can also buy them off Amazon. The reason why I like these speaker cables specifically so much is because they are great sounding, solidly built, very flexible. They're not made with the same type of outside rubber, and it really makes the speaker cable a lot more versatile in terms of flexibility, and they just sound great. And I also like the fact that they come with a 90-degree plug on one side and a straight plug on the other. 20 feet are perfect for a live situation, and I haven't killed one yet. For the amount of money that these cost, they honestly rival some of the more expensive ones. So keep it between you and me. But you can definitely buy a great quality speaker cable without having to spend too much money. Check them out. I'll leave the link down below. Okay, big thumbs up for them. Really appreciate you supporting my channel. All right, so let's get started on the first question of the video. And the question is, and this question came in regarding my Harley Benton upgrade. I upgraded the Harley Benton Fusion 2 guitar with a set of Jalen pickups. And if you haven't watched that video, go back and check it out. I did a sound sample for you as well. So the question or comment today says, for that money, I'd want something with stronger fundamentals or lower harmonics and better overall versatility. You can shape the high end with capacitors or resistance on a full range low inductance pickup, but you can't improve fundamentals or extend the high end in a pickup that limits those factors. The Wild L90 twin blades are a good option for half the price, but the Lace Alumitone are great too. Again, you can use a 1.5 to 3 NF range caps with a 1.5 to 3H inductance pickup on a tone pod for much more versatility than a 4 to 6H dark sounding FE Core PAF design. A Wild Q filter can be used for a mid-dip sound as well. Those are much cheaper solutions with much better versatility. So I don't know if the person leaving this comment is affiliated with the Wild brand, or they're just a fan of the Wild brand. I particularly haven't used the Wild L90 pickups, so I don't really know. I can't really compare them to the Jalen pickups that I tried. And although the comment is correct, there are different ways to actually sculpt the sound, including caps and different things that you can build into the circuit. Most people, including myself, are not really a technical wizard when it comes to electronics. So I wouldn't even know where to begin in terms of calculating that kind of thing, how to do that. I'm not an engineer. So for me, the easiest thing to do would be to replace a pickup with something else to try and get closer to the tone. But I do agree with you that there are many ways you can go about that. You can also just get an EQ pedal and sculpt the sound at that point in your signal chain and boost the highs, mids, or lows according to what you want. So I appreciate your comment. I agree. There's many other ways of doing it. But again, I don't know how to do that. So I'm just doing the thing that comes natural to me, and that's replacing the pickups. All right. Next question. Next question here. So this question was left, or this comment was left after my video where I reviewed the King of Tone clone. And this was a pedal that I purchased. So the comment says, I own one. The seller was very polite, accommodating, and responsive to questions. The pedal feels very solid. Good weight to it. Switches and knobs are tight. It might be a clone, but it's an absolutely wonderfully built one. I run this pedal using into a Fender Blues Junior Mark IV. Standard black Tolex version using my Fender American 54 thin skin Nitro Stratocaster with Fender Custom Shop Fat 50s. That looks like a really nice combination. Couldn't be happier with the tones I get out of it. The circuit on both sides of the pedal has dip switches, which gives you high gain options, which I find convenient, as you can always switch back to the normal gain algorithm level and kick in when you need more juice. I highly recommend the pedal. So I'm super happy that you agree with me. The pedal is killer. If you haven't checked out that video, go back in my videos and have a listen to it. I didn't want to spend the exorbitant amount of money on a King of Tone pedal. Not only that, the waiting list is years, and I don't have that kind of time. So I decided to do the next best thing, and I decided to research who makes a good quality clone. And that was the pedal that I was referring to in the video. And absolutely, it does a lot of things really well. It's absolutely well built. I agree with that. I've tried lots of pedals in my experience, and I can tell you right away, you can tell. I opened up the pedal, looked at how it was put together, and with the circuit board behind it and all the components, and it really is A1 and not nearly as expensive as the original. So if you're not a stickler and don't really want to have the original, there are other options out there, including this particular pedal. So check out that video and you can see what I'm talking about. Go into a lot of details with that one. Next question here. I really don't see a situation where you'd want to mic an FR 108 or any FR speaker. You can just go through the speaker to the mixer or DAW direct. The speaker isn't supposed to add any color flavor, so you just be getting added color from the mic, which is silly. It's not a worry for 99.9% of guitarists. So I appreciate that comment, and I'm just going to tell you what the context was, okay? I made the comment in that video where I was reviewing the Headrush FR speaker, the 108, and I was saying how it was difficult to mic that speaker because you can't actually see the cone. Now, normally, I agree, you wouldn't have to mic a speaker because you would be going directly into your DAW, directly into the board or front of house, or however you want to actually get the sound to the audience that you're playing for. So normally that wouldn't actually be an issue, except I make YouTube videos. And the only way I can actually make you hear the sound of that speaker is by miking it up. So if I can't mic it up properly and do a good job of representing the sound that it offers in a room, for example, then you won't really understand how good it sounds, right? Because the mics will often color the sound as well. So I agree with you. Normally, you wouldn't have to do that. In a regular situation, you would probably go directly into your DAW, but I wanted to actually try and make you hear the speaker and not just the sound as it's being recorded directly into my DAW, which is very difficult to do. So that's the reason for that particular comment. Next comment. Let's go into here and see the one. Okay, so Eddie Random Beats left a message saying, buying my first guitar. Congratulations, Eddie. I noticed that the nut on the JS32 is different. Is it the type of upgrade that you're talking about, or just the same thing but looks different? It's a difference of $100, so want to know if it's worth it, okay? So one of the questions that I made in the video where I was discussing the Jackson JS series guitar, I was talking about that guitar as being a really good option for somebody not wanting to spend a lot of money, because you can get the guitar used for about 200 bucks, sometimes a lot less than that, depending on the condition. And the guitar overall has a lot to offer. And I like the guitar a lot. I like the way the neck feels on that guitar. It's a lot thinner than my other guitars, so it really does a lot of things really well. And I had made a comment on that guitar specifically regarding the nut, because the headstock is shaped rather abruptly. It looks like, a hockey stick style headstock. So whenever you have a guitar with that type of design, the strings are not necessarily going straight. There's a break angle. So the strings have to go straight and then they have to break this way, right? So whenever that happens, unless the nut is a locking nut, you're going to have issues with that nut, because the tuning is going to get snagged at the nut. So the way the nut is cut and the type of nut material you're using on that guitar is critical, unless you have a locking nut. Now, because that guitar does not use a Floyd Rose tremolo, it doesn't have a locking nut. So I actually upgraded the nut with a better quality nut, and it was a graphite nut, so it's a lot more slippery. And I had to make sure that the slots cut into that nut were wide enough so that the strings could actually move freely through the nut slots so they wouldn't get snagged up. So to answer the question, I think the model you're looking at has a locking nut. And I do think if you can get a locking nut on that guitar, you actually will enjoy the guitar much better and you'll have much more stability. So that is the main difference there. All right. I appreciate that comment. Next question. All right. So this question came in regarding the Sigma 000MC1STE acoustic guitar. This review was done many, many years ago. I almost forgot I did this review. It's been so long. But the Sigma guitar is a really great value if you're looking for something that has a really nice tone, a lot of cut, and really sounds great for not too much money. So the question says, update. I've had this guitar for 4 years now, and the sound has gotten better the more I play it. For the money, the sound is incredible. I have tried many sub €1,000 guitar, and Sigma guitars have to be the best. The quality is excellent. The only component that I changed were the plastic bridge pins that warped off, so I replaced them with bone pins. I had to have a luthier expand the holes. Another minor nitpick is that the battery rattles around a lot if it's loose, so make sure it's well secured. Overall, a great guitar. So I couldn't agree with you agreeing with me more. The guitar was purchased for my nephew, and I was looking to buy him a great starter guitar that he can keep around for a long time and enjoy. And the Sigma guitars are great because they're modeled after some of the Martin type guitars, solid spruce top, and they do have other methods of building these guitars to keep the cost down, including building them overseas. But the value that you're getting with the guitars are really good. And I would not hesitate to buy one of these guitars again in the future for me if I really wanted a great acoustic guitar, because they really do offer a lot of money, a lot of bang for the money. And they're very subdued in terms of design, nothing frivolous to add additional costs to it, just great quality construction and good value. So definitely check those out. Last question of the day before we wrap it up here. This is going to be the last one for today. This is another one that came in regarding the Jackson JS series. So I guess that particular guitar is quite popular because it is so inexpensive. And so the question was, does it happen to have neck dive like the Kelly or the King V? So when somebody's referring to neck dive, it's a question of the neck being heavier than the body. And basically when you have it on your lap or on a strap, it tends to do this, right? It tends to be neck heavy? And no, the answer to that question is no. That guitar does not have neck dive. It's actually very comfortable. And after upgrading the pickups on that guitar, it really plays really well and I enjoy it very much. And for 200 bucks, it's a steal. It really is. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoy this edition of the Q&A right here on Addicted to Gear. I hope you got some additional information out of the videos that I just answered the questions on. If you enjoy this type of thing, then definitely leave your comments on my videos because I answer them all, either directly through text or in a video like this. If you want to ask and get answers to your questions, then you can definitely just tune in on Sundays, 10 o'clock Eastern Time, that's AM, where we have our live edition of Addicted to Gear, and you can ask your questions live on the air right then and there. That's it for now, guys. I do appreciate you guys tuning in. Give me a thumbs up if you like this content, and obviously subscribe or you'll miss a lot of the other great videos that I will be posting in the near future. That's it for now, guys. See you soon.